Hello and welcome to CS Academy. We are going to work on 1.1.2 today. That is the first lesson or set of notes here that we can actually interact with. 1.1.1 is a series of videos just to acclimate yourself to the program. 1.1.2 is the first time that we're actually going to make things happen. So as we click on 1.1.2, up here it says our first program. To start, let's draw a rectangle, press the green run button to run this Python code, and there it is. We have a rectangle at 10, 20, 30, 40, and that's what it makes. Now, what do all these numbers mean? Let's check it out. So now we're going to edit the program. We're going to have a rectangle 10, 20, 30, 40 again, but this time let's mess around with these numbers. Instead of 10, let's make it 50. Instead of 20, let's make it 200. Instead of 30, let's make it 70. Instead of 40, let's make it 130. If I hit the green button, I get it moved, okay? It's still a rectangle, but now it is moved. And the more that I mess around with this stuff, the more it'll change. So let's just move one thing at a time. Let's make this 50, 150. Okay, so it should still be the same shape, but this 150 is actually going to push it to the right a little bit. All right, now it's over to the right. 200, let's make this 100. And that's actually going to bring it up a little bit. It should be right about, I'd say here. That should be the top corner. Hit the button. There it is. And now this 70, if I mess around with this, I'll make this 170. That means that it's still going to start here, but it's actually going to come out to probably right about here. Oh, that was a little off. It'll come out right, way over here. All right. And then we have 130. Let's make that 230. That's going to make it come down pretty far. So here we go. There we go. So each one of these numbers is associated with a different attribute. The first two is the starting location. That's actually, if you look 150 and 100, if I put my mouse over the picture, the top left-hand corner is going to be those two numbers, 150 and 100. Okay? Then 170 is how many pixels to the right it goes, and 230 is how many pixels down it goes. Okay? So we have here, it starts at 150, and it goes to the right 170 pixels. So that means that this point over here should be at whatever 150 plus 170 is. And if you could do 150 plus 170, that is 320. So if you look here, the first number is 320. That first number, if you think math, is your x value. Okay, x, y coordinates go in that order, x and y. In this case, our x value is 320, and our y is 100. Now, if we start at 100, which is where this line is on pixel number 100, going from the top, 0, 20, 50, 75, 100. Okay, we start at 100. And we want this to be 230 pixels tall, so 100 plus 230 is 330. So if we go to the bottom, our y should be 330, and there it is. You see that? 330. That is our y right here. Okay. So here we go. The canvas. What they want you to do here for the canvas is simply click where the coordinates tell you. 0 for x is on the left, 400 is on the right. 0 for y is up top, and 400 is on the bottom. So 0, 0 is all the way on the left, all the way up top. 400, 200 is all the way on the right, and 200 is in the middle of 0 and 400, so that's going to be right in the middle of the canvas. So 400 all the way to the right, 200 right in the middle. So here we go. 400, 400, that is your bottom right-hand corner. And last, 0, 200, 0 is over here, 200 is right in the middle. Click. Drawing rectangles. All right, which rectangle has a bottom corner of 100 and 150? So bottom right-hand corner, the two x's have to equal up to 100. The two y's have to equal up to 150. So let's see, x here, 70, and then 100, that's 170. That does not equal 100, so no, it's not that one. 70 plus 80 is, what is that, 150? So that's definitely not it. 70 plus 150, definitely not it. What is that, 220? But 70 plus 30 is. So 70 plus 30 is 100, and then your y's have to equal up to 150. 90 plus 60 is 150. So that's our guy right there. Checkpoint 3, let's see what we got. All right, so click on the rectangle where its left bottom is at 250, 300. 250, 300 is just a little bit past halfway going left and right, and it's more than halfway down going up and down, so that's going to be this guy. The top right is at 400, 250. So 400 is right on the edge, so we know it's either this one or this one. 250 going up and down is past the halfway point. This is 200. Keep going. That's this guy. Next one, the rectangle with its right bottom is at 250, 400. So 250 is about right here. So it's either this guy or this guy. 400 is all the way on the bottom. So it's this one. And the last one, click the rectangle with its center at 225, 275. That's pretty close to the middle. This is 200, 200. So 225 is right about here. 275 is right about here. Click. Good job. Yay. All right, the auto grader. What the auto grader does is it tells you if you have correctly coded or not. So if I go into here, it says the rectangle is at 100, 100, but the rectangle drawn in the editor is 200, 200. What does that mean? If you start coding over here, solution, this is what you want. Okay? This is what you want. This is what you have so far in your code. Obviously, you have not put this in. It's automatically put in for you, but trust me, you'll be using this plenty. So solution, this is what it looks like. My canvas, this is what you have so far. So you need to change the location of this to up here. Now, remember, I told you that the first two numbers are the location of the top left corner. So the first two numbers should be 50 and 50. You come over here, it's 150 and 150. So if we take these hundreds off and run it, now we're good. So we can switch back and forth from my canvas to solution. There's no difference. Run it, check it. Beautiful. And checkpoint number 6. What do we got here? I forget this one. Let's reset it. Okay, so previous checkpoint, rectangle needs to have the left top at 50, 100, with a width of 150 and a height of 200, but there is an error. What is the error this time? If I run it, it says, invalid syntax, perhaps you forgot a comma. Between each one of these numbers, these are all the attributes, between each attribute you must have a comma, or else the computer is going to read this as one number, and that's just not going to happen. So you have to have a comma in between each one. So comma after 50, comma after 100, comma after 150. We run it, we check it, and everyone's happy. All right, so if we go into the lessons, go into the exercises here, let's knock out, we'll do one. We'll do the smiley face here, okay? So the smiley face is supposed to look like this. This is the code, but I'm going to reset it and show you how to build it. So here we go. This first rectangle starts at 125 and 80, so capital RECT. 125 and 80. How far does it go over? It goes over to 155. That's 30 more than 125, so next number is a 30. And then how far does it go down? It goes down to 160. So we start at 80. How far away is 160 from 80? 160 minus 80 is 80. If I run that, beautiful. All right, next we got this guy over here. The starting spot for this rectangle is 245 and 80. So capital RECT, 245, 80. And then a little cheat here. This is exactly the same size as this guy, so your final two numbers are going to be the same. So if I just put 30 and 80 in here and run it, things are good. All right, so let's come down here. We'll get the corners of the mouth because these are both the same, so I could use that little trick that I just did up here. 5200, so RECT, 5200. And then this goes over to 75. So 75 minus 50 is 25. And it goes down to 275. 275 minus 200 is 75. All right, if I run it, beautiful. Now we come over here. This one starts at 325 and 200, RECT, 325, 200. It's exactly the same size as this guy, so let's just use these two numbers, 25, 75. Run it. There we go. And the last thing we need is the bottom of the smile. This is a rectangle that starts at 75 to 75. Then it comes all the way over here to 325. 325 minus 75 is 250. And then it comes down just a little bit to 315. 315 minus 275 is 30. It's 40. 40? 30. 40. 40. And if I run it, there it is. That looks great. Check it. Sweet. Now, when you do these exercises, they have over here 3/3. I have done all of them, so obviously I already have 3 total points. But the ones up here, the top row are always the easiest, and these are usually going to be worth 1 point each. Anything below that are a little bit more difficult, but you'll get more credit for it. Okay? And this down here, this is just something we do with fonts. But just to show you 3 out of 3, if you are in an area that you haven't touched yet, see here, my 6.3.5 I have not done yet, so I have 0 out of 4. So when I do these things, they'll eventually start counting up 1, 2, 3, 4 until I can move on to the next thing. You cannot move on to the next portion until you have a 3 out of 3 or you have fulfilled your point requirement. So I could not go on to 1.2.1 fills and borders until I finished 3 points worth of exercises. All right, that's about it for today. And go ahead, keep working on this. If you need to pause it, go ahead. That's fine. All right, thank you very much, and good luck.